Hey there, Leo community. Soul Tigress here with a story for this wonderful community. As usual, I'm not sure, but I'm feeling like all hands on deck right now. And it's because I have a few extra oracle cards here. And one of them fell out at the last minute saying, no, you will use this to clarify a certain specific area of this story today. So it's very interesting what I'm picking up. Now, the Leo in this story is tired, and they're tired of searching. And right now, this Leo is reflecting a lot. And maybe there's something that they're not acknowledging that has been and still is a headache already. Something/someone's image, though. There is some kind of concern around this image. They're not sure about this image just yet. I don't know if it has to do with a specific person, a place, or a thing, but there's something they're not sure about. There's a lot of neck pain going on. Maybe the Leo in this story is storing their stress in their neck. That does happen. We don't pick, but subconsciously we do certain areas that we store stress in. So a little detour here in Eastern beliefs, the burdens are stored in the shoulders and the emotions are stored in the hips. I don't know. Maybe that's why they say we carry the world on our shoulders like the Greek god Atlas. Ooh. So followed by neck pain, I was getting images of fruit. And this fruit, maybe Leo needs to consume more fruit. Maybe Leo has been consuming a lot of acidic stuff. Acidic stuff is going to be a lot of stuff with preservatives in it. Your fried stuff. Basically, a lot of acidic stuff is opposite of what your fruits and vegetables are, but with the exception of citrus stuff. So there are some fruits, some vegetables that are a little bit more acidic. But when you start incorporating more fruit and vegetables, the theory is that you're going to elevate your vibration because your body's going to be fed with some good nutrients. You might find yourself not as hungry and catch yourself just bored wanting to snack. That's just my opinion. I'm not giving any advice. Remember, this is all for entertainment purposes. And what's needed for this Leo as they're going through and kind of getting back on the road of taking care of themselves is gentleness through this detoxing. Whether it's detoxing with people, with places, with things, just make sure that you bring on that gentleness. And for anyone, this is very interesting, for anyone who has had some hardware put in, I like to use a scoliosis patient, for example, because they have a lot of hardware in them. Be careful. I was doing some research and they say that the body is going to absorb those metals. So doing a nice routine of a detoxing, maybe quarterly or maybe even twice a year, could really help cleanse things out, help elevate the mood. Now again, this is just my opinion. So, and then also after this detoxing, I was picking up some leg pain. I'm not sure, but all I know is that this Leo, what I'm getting is they just need to take time and bring on that gentleness and take care of themselves. That's what I get when I see good food being introduced into the vibe. Also gentleness and detoxing. It's just time to take care of yourself. Whatever this headache is, it's done feeding the pain in your neck. It's literally the pain in your neck here. So what is the sacrifice? What is it that you're compromising on? We're going to start off a little bit gentle with the Cosmic Belief Oracle cards. Ooh. So what is it that needs to come out? Yeah, we're on the flip side with something. Every time I choose to align my spirit The guidance of the highest truth appears to me. Maybe this is why it's important to detoxify right now. Right now, Leo could be feeling like there's a lot of muddleness around them. Just muck. And with that muck, they can't get those messages. They feel like they're at a distance with what they believe in or what they were trying to believe in. Manifesting is a creative process that aligns with the energy of the universe to create an experience that uplifts my spirits and the world's spirits together. This is telling me that keep doing it. Keep doing it. Even though this Leo is trying to manifest something that is outside of them, maybe it's a certain way of going. Maybe it's a certain alignment, because we have alignment in this other one. It's keep believing it. It's keep believing it, because you're going to put it out there. And that's what your fifth house is about, is externalization of self. What you're vibrating inside is going to be put into the outside. So if you're seeing and believing in what you deserve, you're going to put that out there. And the theory is it should come back to you in some form, some way. It's just releasing the ideal attachments, Leo. And just remembering that one of the things with your mythology has to come down to that lion's heart. Having a big heart. Maybe this muck is the confusion of a lot of self-sacrifice that had happened before. Maybe it's detoxing from past things. And instead of being absorbed in things that are really quick to grab, say quick fast food things, maybe you're quick to get up and go run and do something else to stay distracted. It's saying slow down. It's really time to take care of yourself and clear yourself out for this next thing to come in. That's if you really want it. One last card for this oracle. There it is. Now this is something Leo could be confused about and directly not seeing. When I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. Oh, the cat's out the bag on this one. Don't give up. Don't deem yourself not good enough, especially when you're feeling like the nights are the darkest. I feel like this whole week has just been full of a lot of conflict, a lot of friction for the human species. And I'm not just saying it was for me, it was for a lot of people out there. So don't let a week, a day, sit there and take your destiny away. Don't do it. If you have something on your mind that you really want, keep believing. I'm serious. Keep believing. We all go through it. We all face a challenge. We all have those bad days to where it's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I believe in what I'm believing? What's the point? The point is you deserve it. That's why. Don't forget that. Let's talk about the present. Let's talk about the present. What needs to come out for the Leo community? So that distance that you're feeling, what'd I say? Going about and trying to get a quick fix, doing something quickly could have you tied to this muck. Look at that. We got the devil card right there. That's Capricorn energy. Being tied down. Maybe it's detoxifying from being tied down from 1, 2, 3 other situations. 3 other situations that had you all tied to this one thing. This one thing. Look at what's next. That Chariot. I like to reflect also how Cancerian energy is the moon energy, because that's their planet. And the moon really talks about, It shows where and how we nurture, also how we seek that nutrients, people nurturing us, or the things that we nurture ourselves with. As the moon is responsive, adaptable, shows us an area of life where we can create, give birth as well. So there's something here that's held up. It's held up with how this Leo feels like they can create, how they feel like they can be nurtured. Maybe this Leo has that really big lion's heart, and they feel like it gets them caught up. It gets them caught up. That happens. When you are a compassionate person, it feels like, why do I always attract the ones who want to take advantage of it? I see that a lot with people. I really do. We seem to, when you're a caring person, we seem to get those ones that just know how to play on it. They know how to go about. But it's like, how can we keep these passions? How can we go on our journey, though? How can I pick up and go with the things I want to do? What else is Leo saying? It's always so conflicting. Every which way. Every which way. This is that 8-10. This is going to be our Sagittarius energy. Right here. How can I find where I want to go without it being a lot of conflict? There we go. Conflict is being confused in those thoughts, being stuck in the head and not being able to come out of it. Not being able to come out of it. Not seeing how much you have built. Not seeing that. Maybe always getting caught up. That there was something that you were always doing wrong. It's kind of like the thing that you always kept putting back together. And it's like, I was the one who kept messing up. I was the one who can't seem to get it together. And it was confusing because you're coming in as an emperor. You know, trying to hold everything down. And that doesn't just apply to just one gender. All right, this is everybody. You was coming in at the top of your game. Top of your game. But somehow, you felt like you didn't fulfill. You did not fulfill. And I'm hearing others. Maybe you feel like these others, whoever these other situations that you're chained with, maybe somehow you feel like you didn't fulfill them. There's a lot of the heads down here. That is what I'm getting, the heads down. And it's just stuck in those thoughts and being in conflict and feeling like this is always what I get. This is just every time I try to work towards something, this is always what's going to happen. Oh, Leo, stop beating yourself up. It's okay to be human, remember? All this is just a learning lesson. You're going to get strengthened. You really are. And if you level up, guess what? You're going to meet somebody on a higher level with you. All right, so let's get a clarity card for the Five of Pentacles. Why do we feel like it's always being built the same? This is what has to do with that unfulfillment. Look at that. Rejection. There's a deep fear of rejection here. Maybe because they feel like they've been rejected more than once. And what I'm seeing, because they're so distanced with their beliefs right now, is that they even felt like the divine or their beliefs have rejected them. And we got that crown chakra here. And so when the crown chakra is, what is the word? Out of balance. When it's out of balance, there's a disconnection. There's confusion. There's lack of purpose. There's depression. And look, it lands on this king. And for the view I have, the king is actually looking down. Very sad. Very sad. All right, so let's get another clarity card. Let's get a clarity card I'm hearing for the Eight of Swords. What is the clarity card for the Eight? Another crown. Another crown. And this goes on to the Seven of Cups and even that Eight of Wands. The way that this Leo wants to go, and for them to actually see how they've built their success. I'm hearing legacy. There has to be a release. That release is going to release the confusion about how and what this Leo's been actually doing. Leo, if you're here right now and you're still listening to this story, I'm going to tell you right now, you're Gucci. You care. You're trying your best. There's a reason why you're here. There is. Let's be open to releasing. Doing a good journaling always helps. Finding an area where you can be vulnerable and give yourself that time to process. Give yourself that time to look at everything. And not just see it from the eyes that feel like they are not doing enough. Because remember, we can get stuck in that where we think that we have to match up with society's definition of success. It's not the same. I was watching this movie, and I'm going to go off on a tidbit and give you a little TMI. And this movie was called Drunk Parents, and they just ran into so much stuff. It was with a Baldwin and... oh, why am I spacing out her name? She played in some movies with Adam Sandler. Salma Hayek, I think. Anyway, so sorry if I got the name wrong. Or the actress wrong. But what it is it's depicting that these parents are drunk and they're just going through it and they're just dealing with their problems that way, and they just keep having stuff happen to them with like in a week span or something like that. But what they did is before everything hit the fan, they managed to get their daughter off to college, and that was the one thing that was important for them. And I don't know if I got all of the story right, but it seemed like things got caught up because they were trying to take the shortcut with things. One thing that kind of bothered me about this was it depicted people in a low frequency, but without the actual reality of what low frequency is. And a lot of times in life, we get these shows that we think that this is the way stuff's supposed to work out. We really relate to them. And when we see that other adults don't operate this way, or scenarios don't play out like what we've seen or what we're surrounded with when it comes to our devices, TVs, any kind of media stuff, it can be hard. It could be hard to process for us, especially if we are having issues with rejection, if we're having issues where we feel like we're not enough. So just know that there is research out there that does say how harmful living in these facades of the media shows and stuff can really have on us if we don't know how to separate ourselves from fiction into what actually really happens in real life. All right. Whoa. Let's keep going. So what I have here is a magician. This magician says, clarify, clarify, clarify. This confusion. Again, another crown chakra. This confusion. This magician is really upside down on the thoughts with themselves. They're beating themselves up to the point where I feel like this could really take a lot from them. If Leo doesn't handle this situation and process this situation, I feel like they're going to be stuck for a long time in it. I feel like this is the moment, this is the time to keep pushing forward. This is the test here. Whatever situation's at hand that's a headache already, you gotta make some moves. Gotta make some moves. Those moves have to come at the expense again of figuring out what it is that has been pulling on you. What it is that keeps you chained up to this devil. Anything else want to come out for the present? I'm feeling like that's a hard no. All right, so let's go out for the block then. What is it about the block? Why is this Leo blocked like this? Thoughts on how things were built. Feeling like it's always going to be the same. I'm never going to reach that full fulfillment. I'm always just going to sit here at a 7 by myself. And I feel like they don't want that. They don't want to be by themselves. That's the big thing. Whatever this Leo's hustling towards, I would say they want others to come with them. Or they want somebody to be there with them to enjoy the fruits. Anything else want to come out? Something that they dream about. Something that they pray about. Something at one time they really surrounded themselves with. But again, remember, at this time, Leo's at odds ends with their beliefs. So this is why it's coming out for the block. Let's get a clarification card for the 10 of coins. Clarification card for the 10 of coins. This has to do with the whole empire, the whole enchilada, and how always it keeps running into the same thing. It keeps running into the same thing with a swiftness. An energy that comes in and wants to protect. I feel like this is what they want to do in their thoughts. And even if it is, say, because this is a feminine energy, with the thoughts here and the clarification behind this is going to be a big unblocking. This is going to be big on bringing in the compassion, acceptance, kindness, and mercy. But being swift and being able to protect that kingdom. Being swift and being able to protect how you build. Because this one comes out and is actually looking upon that rejection. Like, bring it. I dare you to try and bring some rejection my way. I dare you. And maybe that clarification comes out because this is the way that Leo's blocked. They're blocked from feeling like they can be this protector and accepting it and having that mercy that, you know what, stuff happened. Stuff happened. It didn't happen the best, you know, but I'm going to learn from it. And I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm not going to let the rejections of the past, what I was chained to, keep me from going forward. But that is the block. Is not having the mercy on that. Is not being able to see what was happening. I'm hearing one more clarification card. Queen of Swords clarification card. All right, what is it else? Yeah. How can I carefully plan for what I really want in my life? How can I carefully plan not to run into, what did it land on? This rejection. There's a lot of fear of rejection here. Let's get a clarification card for the rejection then. Clarification card for the rejection. We're taking a step back. Sometimes you have to take a step back. to move forward. All right, taking that step back can give you another view. Taking a step back. And as we talk about that, I'm just going to show you how it looks. Y'all can interpret this. This is that step back you need to take into. Look at that step back and how everything is hitting the fan or has hit the fan. Whether it's past, whether it's now, it doesn't matter. Those other alignments didn't work out for a reason. Everything came down. Everything was flipped every which way. Because at heart, this Leo knew that this conflict isn't a part of their alignment. But I feel like the rejection is there's a fear of being rejected from something that's really good for them. Again, there's that fear of it's not meant, that their beliefs are out of line with them. And it's just being really careful. Wanting to be... What I'm hearing is it could be too careful. You could be too careful and you can miss an opportunity. This is how this is playing out into the block. If you think about it, when a Leo is out and they're going and they're looking for food, they have to time it right when they're on the savannah. They have to time it right because a lot of the times they don't get it. They don't get it. There's a lot of variables. That's why they need the whole pride. So whatever backup you need to bring in spiritually, it's there. You just got to believe it. You got to know it's there backing you up. But as I was saying, they got to be really decisive with how they go in to hunt. But also the timing. Because if they start out too far back, they're not going to be able to catch up and get their meal. Think about that. Leo, if you start too far back or too late, then how are you going to get it? And so what I have here for the block is definite Leo's caught up. Caught up in the head and the thoughts and the passions of what they really want to go. Maybe doing the most with some distractions. Doing the most with some distractions. Maybe the most is really keeping distractions somehow keeps them with feeling like they have some kind of justice because they don't have to focus on it. It keeps them, again, distracted. What don't they have to focus on? How they lost what they built. And they just don't know how to go about it again. They don't know how to go about it again. And if you look back, look at how this night seems like they're looking back here. This one's not looking back, whatever this situation is. They're on them. But this other one looks back at it. Maybe Leo's being unfair with themselves when they reflect back into this situation. It's kind of what I've gotten with Libra a few times. Libra doesn't see how it took two to tango, and that they were going tis or tick for tat, eye for eye kind of thing with a past situation. And maybe I'm not seeing that this was happening, this back and forth kind of thing, because Leos are always about a lot of self-sacrifice. A lot of people don't know that. But there is a lot of sacrifice here, Leo feels like. Maybe it's still they are sacrificing Just even thinking about it, harboring on it, you know, keep replaying it. You're sacrificing your future, Leo, if you don't move past it. Something we don't see. Has to do with others. This Three of Cups, not wanting this deja vu. Not wanting this deja vu and to build like what has been built before. I'm hearing used. Don't want to be used and abused. Yeah. Why don't they want to be used and abused? Well, it hurts. It hurts a lot to attract really immature energies when I'm trying to go off in this new direction. And this direction is trying to bring things, build my own utopia. You know, finding that person, that place, that hobby that I could share it with. I get that. I get that a lot. You can do that at work. Sometimes you just want to build something so wonderful and be able to share it with others who want the same success. Others who are just as high-reaching. I can totally get that, and I can totally see why it's a block. So I'm hearing this is the time to get out that other oracle deck. I didn't tell you what it is. Let's spill the tea. Let's spill the tea. Let's clear up some confusion. Let's clear up some confusion. So let's start off with the clarity card for this Three of Cups, and then we'll head into the Devil. Clarity card for the Three of Cups has to do with rejection. This had to do with a spiritual hater. But on the flip side, Leo didn't understand that this person, I feel like, was a spiritual hater just in general. They were a hater in general. It didn't have to do with your success particularly. It's just that they were in such a low frequency that it was just them. It was just them. They weren't even happy with themselves. Can I get a clarity card for the Devil? Clarity card for the Devil. Wow. Clarity card for the Devil. Let's see. Moving. Moving. You gotta get those boxes packed. You gotta get going. Then I have creativity. Steals your ideas, copies your work, duplicates, feeds off of you. So what I'm seeing here to clarify the Devil with that in reverse and the moving and upright is that you weren't seeing what was happening. I feel like the Leo here was always up and going. And I don't see them moving as in moving out. I just see that they were too busy working on their dream. And they really thought that they had these others that they were chained to and chained with. They thought that these others were really there for them. And they weren't. They weren't. They were just, again, they could have been like siphoning your energy, riding your ride, you know. Clout hungry, yeah. Saying anything, does anything, makes stuff up. Dramatic. They could have been starting a lot of stuff, brought in a lot of stuff just to get attention. And see, Leos are known for always seeking attention. But I feel like this person was, they could have been a little bit of envious. Because when I want to say jealousy, jealousy wasn't right. It had to do with a lot of envy of what you had, what you were doing, the moves that you were making. But it wasn't healthy. It was not healthy. Now I'm hearing clarity card for the confusion. Clarity card for the confusion. What needs to come out? The whole thing is you didn't recognize when they were just kissing your rear to get what they wanted. To get what they wanted. That's a part of that releasing. I mean, sometimes we don't want to see people for who they are. I was just talking with somebody about this. When you reach a certain age in life, I'd say in your 20s, you start to see it, say around 19. If you're, say, emotionally and intellectually evolved, not everybody's going to see it at the age of 19. That's no offense. But you start to see it a lot in your 20s. For me, it was my late 20s. For others, it's a little bit sooner. But you start to see how a lot of the adults around you, the adults you grew up with, don't have stuff handled. You start to see the other side of adults once you reach this certain age. And it really is just like jaw-dropping. It's like another perspective where you as a kid thought all the adults had their stuff together because they went to work and they did this and they did that, you know. But when you become an adult and you've been adulting, you really start to see something different with other adults. It's not the same view. And I'm feeling like this is this kind of situation. Once you start releasing and start evolving emotionally and even up here, I'm not saying that the Leo in this story is dumb or anything, but right now their thoughts are out just in one direction. The thoughts got to come back, get grounded out, and not be tossed in another direction, but the view opened up in a more organic way. That's what I'm saying there. All right, so let's see what we can do to help out with the block. I have the Shamanic Healing Oracle. Like I said, all hands on deck. All right, so angels, ancestors, spirit guides, divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out? What I'm feeling is third eye right now. My third eye is so highlighted. You got to get down with that intuition. Being open to your intuition. Ooh, it's quite a bit. So we have fallout right away onto this clout person, you know, building the utopia, dealing with this other deja vu stuff that keeps happening when you're trying to get stuff going. It's the struggle. It is the struggle of the lesson right now. The lesson right now, again, is like we're saying, you're going to level up. This is all about ascension. And you can't get to this until you learn your lessons, till you evolve, till you, bring that frequency up another notch. And this is going to come at looking at that past, present, and future. On the flip side, taking a different view into it. And right here, again, we've been talking a lot about feminine energy. When feminine energy is out of balance, it's going to be merciless. It's not going to be as accepting. It's going to be a lot more low frequency energy. Whereas when you flip it, you bring in that compassion, that acceptance, that mercy. And a lot of times we need it for ourselves. Make sure to get up and create that movement in taking care of yourselves. I feel like when we stretch, when we go for walks, it definitely helps unblock little channels that we have in ourselves, energetic channels. Remember, I said a lot of emotions and Eastern beliefs are stored in the hips. Burdens are stored on the shoulders. And to me, I'm really looking at how this person is stretching. Get that blood circulating. Get those toxins out. Drink more water to help get those toxins out. And again, we've been talking about perception. Perception. Look at, shine a light onto these dark areas. You know, don't be afraid to explore these dark areas. Everyone gets all in a hooey about, the shadow side. or the dark side. I actually have the theory that this side is the side that needs the most love. It's the side that we deem the scariest, but it's the side that hurts the most. So think about that. When you're exploring that past and you're wanting to be hard on yourself, shed some mercy onto yourself. Shed some kindness onto yourself. And something that you're not seeing, and this has to do with that confusion. This has to do with that confusion, and if you're actually going to get a person who's authentic, or if they're just going to be wanting to kiss your rear for what you have. What you don't see is a lucky number 7. 7 is spiritual awakening. You have listened, and it's time to reap rewards. A reunion of souls. Whatever you're searching for, whatever this partnership, it's there. You don't see it. And that's okay. That is okay. That's because work has to be done if you want to be able to cross paths with it. I had a few meditations, one when I was walking, and the vision came in, and it had to do with the different timelines. And the timelines, they run like, what I would say is like ribbon. It runs like a strand of ribbon. And you have lots of these like strand of ribbon looking ones. And I say ribbon because they don't run like roads, because they'll go over each other. They'll go in all different directions. But you have some ribbons that run alongside each other too. And then when I got in another meditation, I got to see a deeper look into each timeline. And each timeline is made up like the colors of the rainbow. But there's even colors that we can't see. And what happens is what I can describe it as is if you've been in an airport and you've had that straightaway escalator that takes you, instead of you having to walk from one end to the other, metaphorically, we are on that in that timeline. We are on that when we're sleeping. We are on that when we get up. I would say not so much when we're sleeping. I say when we get up, that's when we really get on it again. And we don't know it. Even when we are not moving, our timeline is still propelling us with every choice that we're making. Sometimes we can go into the different colors of those timelines, just depending on our frequency. If you want to go into the more uplifted colors, you got to get over there and you got to be uplifted. You got to raise that vibe. But if you want to go into the darker colors, the lower frequency, I would say colors, and it has nothing against those colors. It's just the frequency that they put out. It's a slower, lower. If that's your ideal match, that's your ideal match then. But for me, myself, no, mine's like one that can really move. Anywho, so what I'm getting at is that you can definitely not jump or even just walk those different colors throughout the day, throughout the year, in that specific timeline. And what happens is everyone is on that, and we have this escalator going. And then that's how we end up intersecting with other people, even if it's just for moments. We're always meant to run into everyone, whether it's a good interaction, bad interaction, it's a lesson. But if you get held up and you can't get that momentum, or you're not on that same kind of color where they're going to intersect with each other, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on what you're looking for. If what you're looking for is in a different area, you got to put yourself there too. And a lot of times these other lessons that really drag us through the mud are not really there for us to increase our self-doubt. A lot of times they're there to help us see how much resilience we do have. We forget to look at those things. We forget to look at how much we have built. We forget to look at the success that we have that the coin cannot buy. So when you're in these reflections, don't just look at what you're missing. Don't just look at everything that was done wrong. Look at your journey and how hard you have worked. And then when you get to that point, I want you to look at what you deserve, what you want. And it isn't that I don't deserve this because I'm this and that. No, what do you feel like you deserve? And you go from there and you start manifesting it. And then if you keep going on that path, whatever you're manifesting is eventually going to run into you. But with everything in life, you have to do the work. And you have to believe in yourself. Okay, Leo, in this story? All right, so this is definitely going to conclude it. I thank you so much for your time and energy, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.